All right, so we are here with Emily White, representing iVoted, the festival, right, for tomorrow, right after the elections. So can you tell me kind of about what iVoted is and how you kind of got into this?
Yeah, thanks, Lexi. So I'm a longtime entrepreneur in the music industry. I'm originally from Wisconsin, where, as I'm sure you know, the presidential election was decided in 2016 by 22,000 votes and change. It was decided next door in Michigan by 10,000 votes and change. And I realized that 22,000 in Wisconsin, and I'd also read that turnout was down in Milwaukee.
Right.
And 22,000, I was like, that's the Pfizer Forum. Like, why don't we put together some sort of sick concert and tie in voting? And so that's what we did for the 2018 midterms. I did realize if we took the concept national, we could have that much more impact. Mm-hmm. So for the midterm elections, we activated over 150 venues in 37 states to let fans in on election night who showed a selfie from outside their polling place. Wow. All of these amazing artists performed, Jim James, Playboi Carti, Maggie Rogers, it goes on. And it was really just myself and an intern working on it. So it was an idea that caught fire. So now we've pivoted under the pandemic, and we've invited artists to perform via webcast tomorrow on election day. Fans can access the stream by RSVPing with a selfie at home with their blank and unmarked ballot, or from outside their polling place, or next to your post office, or next to your post box. So if you mailed it in already, you can still RSVP. Okay. If you're not a U.S. citizen or you're ineligible to vote for any reason, you can also RSVP. And if you're underage, you can also RSVP. Now, and you can do all that at ivotedfestival.com. Now, instead of just inviting artists that we know personally or that we hope people will like, we invited artists who are the top streaming artists in and or from each state. We're still not funded. We're like 200 volunteers. So we focused on like 20, 25 swing states. I started with Wisconsin because that's where my heart is. And out of our data set of Wisconsin alone, 80 artists confirmed that first week, whenever that was, a few months ago. So now we have about 500 artists confirmed for the iVoted Festival tomorrow. Which makes it, unfortunately, the biggest music festival of the year. But it's also going to smash the record for the largest single night digital concert in history, all in support of voter turnout.
Wow, that's amazing, Emily. And especially the fact that it's like this big monumental thing, right? We're talking about elections. We're talking about music collaborating to kind of push that narrative. So when you're talking about these large streaming artists from like these certain cities, let's say Milwaukee, what artists are we talking about navigating this space with us and helping us rock out after we do our democratic duties?
Oh my gosh, all sorts of artists. I mean, to me, the Wisconsin, like, you know, the artists from Wisconsin looked like a Summerfest lineup, you know, so you have Classic and Munch Lauren and Culla and Trapper Shep and Brett Newski. And also we've been discovering artists. So like one of our favorites has been Boom Forest, who's from Baraboo. That was trending really high in Madison. Gobbin Jr. is another one we discovered. So yeah, it's been so fascinating, not only to see like what people are listening to, but what they're listening to where, right? So Milwaukee was all rap and jam bands.
Wow.
And Madison was like this hippest indie rock you could. I work in indie rock, and I'm like, I don't know any of these are like really, really good. And then if you bounce over to Grand Rapids, which isn't all that, you know, technically all that far away, it's all contemporary Christian. So it's just like, even, you know, 100 miles or something, everybody's listening to different music. So it was really cool to program the festival that way.
I bet. And so now you're exposing different audience bases to this different music, right? That they maybe didn't know about, just like you didn't know about it. And obviously it's for a good cause. So with that being said, how do you think like music really translates when it comes to politics? So we're navigating this political force right now where we're getting people to really like come out and vote. No matter who you're voting for, we're saying that, you know, it's important to kind of do this. And why would these artists kind of align with kind of this incentive to do so?
Yeah. Well, like, you know, why music? It's just who I am and it's what I know. And this is what I could do. We could all do something. But for the artists, I mean, you know, many of them are super passionate, but, you know, one thing that was really appealing to artists, is that we are nonpartisan, bipartisan. We don't care who you vote. We don't need to know who people are voting for. We just want to encourage voting, get people thinking about voting, excited about voting, hopefully, actually voting. I would say, that this isn't like a scientific number, but like maybe 20% of artists are like, you're nonpartisan, right? Because they really don't want to alienate anyone, which I totally understand. So, yeah, but also like we have some very, very vocal artists to make it clear who they are voting for. So yeah, I mean, music and politics definitely have been intertwined throughout history. I think that, like I said, artists in the modern era are a little bit more timid, and I'm sure it's because you hear from everyone online, right? No matter who they are. But yeah, we just had artists saying yes, left and right. We still have artists writing to us. We're like, we have to cut it off, but talk to us in 2024.
Like next time.
Exactly.
Next 4 years. Absolutely. Well, I think it's a great thing to kind of, bring together, and especially because it's not only just in Wisconsin. You're building it up, and you just said it, 200 volunteers, which is amazing. And I just think that kind of just shows that music is definitely something that everybody can, kind of feel and understand, right? It's music. Music is the language of humanity. So it's great, Emily. Do you think that there is something that you're looking forward to in this concert? Is it just seeing the people RSVP and showing up and kind of vibing out with all the artists? Is it actually, hoping that it moves people to go vote? What is the part that's, just really inspiring for you and that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I'm so inspired by all these artists. I'm so inspired by the fans. I'm inspired by our team. I do hope there's this much enthusiasm for future elections. That's something I've definitely learned from other organizers. Like, not that this has been easy, but they've made it clear, like, it's easier now when everybody wants to help out. When things are good, and if you have someone, if you're happy with who's in office, that's actually when it's harder to motivate people to help out. But yeah, we even have high school students on our team who are like, I'm not going to be old enough to vote, but I want to contribute something. So yeah, I'm like constantly like in tears in the best way. And we were talking about this before, but if someone goes down on the team, like our chief marketing officer, Melissa Garcia, got sick. Michael James, who's based in Milwaukee, stepped right up into that position. And he's a pretty deadpan guy, but he gives us these like motivational talks in Slack that like make me cry. Beyond that, I'm super excited to see the Dresden Dolls are going to do a live Q&A. That's a band I basically came up working with.
Wow.
We put together W. Kamau Bell interviewing Living Color. I'm proud to say that was my idea, because Living Color was huge for us in 2018. They were just so active, so on it. So they're like, we want to do something, but we don't live in the same house. And I knew that Vernon Reed was best friends with Kamau, and my previous company worked with Kamau. So I was like, I'd love to see a conversation between Kamau and Living Color. So Absolutely. They made that happen. And then, yeah, the Milwaukee artist Culla that we discovered has definitely been one of my favorites. So I'm like emotionally super excited and proud, but then as a music fan, excited to check out these conversations. And
Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about this. I mean, because obviously with the pandemic, it's been really hard to get out and really like cover, music events for us. So this is something where I can like see, and especially some of these names that we haven't gotten to see before, actually get to see them perform and, see them vibe out and be socially responsible at the same time. Like, I'm all for it. So I appreciate you putting this together, because it makes my life way easier, and I feel like it's going to be so much fun. So I definitely want people to check it out. So that's #iVoted on all social media, right? And then iVoted Festival. And what is the website again that they can go to and register?
Yeah, iVotedFestival.com. And like I said, if you voted already, just snap a photo next to your mailbox at home and that'll get you in.
And that's an excuse for us to take our selfies. We all love those, right? I want to thank you so much for joining me, Emily. And I'm going to make sure we get this out, and we're going to, send it out and make sure everybody comes, so comes virtually, right? And iVoted Festival. And that's tomorrow, November 3rd, election night. All right. See you guys then.
So get y'all. This is what he said. My dog hit me like, let's get it. G, let's go and get it. I'm with it. My nigga, I'm with it. It's the land of free opportunity. Ahead of us. Right. What was the great America?